Welcome to our new series of the Birth and Baby Business Show called Lessons from a Birth and Baby Business Owner, where we'll be speaking to those who are in or who have been in the birth and baby business world to ask them the questions that you'd like to know the answer to on how they got to where they are in their business today. Hello, my name's Anna LaGrange and I'm one half of Baba Business, the Birth and Baby Business Academy.
And my name is Liz Stanford, and I'm the other half of Baba Business, the community membership for birth and baby business owners. And today we have the honour of speaking with the lovely Kemi Johnson. So Kemi is a mother, formerly UK registered midwife, now birthkeeper and a birth activist, teacher and speaker. Kemi's passion is to facilitate in every way possible sacred, healthy births for families, which obviously sounds amazing to me. So where to start? Well, I would really like to know, why did you start your business? What led to it? So obviously you were a midwife. Was there something in your experience as a midwife that kind of led you to create your own business? And can you tell us about that?
Yes, I realised for me to be integral and authentic, I wouldn't be supported by established maternity systems.
Mm-hmm.
So it was it was working from that, like, how can I stay in integrity? How can I live with myself? How can I meet my calling? Many of us that hear the calling to particularly intrapartum birth care, which is during the labour, many of us that get that calling, we stumble into, well, in the UK, we will stumble into midwifery school. The midwifery schools are good. I liked my university. I liked my midwifery school. However, the placement would always be in an NHS maternity ward. And so that's where it started to, my vocation, I started to crumble a bit. I now realise that everything happens for you. I personally don't think you can run any business, and this is just me, unless you have a spiritual connection. I personally don't think you can.
Well, it takes a lot from you. Yeah, it takes a lot from you personally. It has to be like a higher thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And because you're not following a well-trodden road, I think it can be quite isolating and frightening. Coming out of systems. So yeah, personally, I think if you're running a baby business outside of the systems, you're diametrically opposed to what the system's about, because usually what's driving you is compassion, love, and skill.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I'm not saying that there aren't skilled people within the system.
Say what you want. Yeah.
Say what you want, Kemi.
I'm not saying that there aren't skilled people within the system. I'm just saying that the system doesn't necessarily need skilled people.
Yes. Got you. Yeah,
that's true.
Definitely.
You need to be a follower. You need to follow instructions. And probably you'd survive longest in the system if you don't question. So anyway, that's a long story short. My questioning, me doing things my own way, me challenging the apparent rules, etc., was making me very comfortable. So I kind of had no choice.
Yeah. And what you mentioned before, you were saying about like the challenges and fear that there might be kind of stepping out on your own. And so was that really evident to you? And how long did it take you to really find your voice in working for yourself?
Again, things happening for you. So in my midwifery training, just in my second year, because I was a mature student, so I had a lot of life experience. I had my own birth experiences, etc. I had experience as a doula. It's already, it's going to get a bit spiritual in here, because I realised that everything was converging on a single point, and that point was me. And so I knew I had to come out of the system from before I'd finished my midwifery training. And so I'd already been dovetailed with midwifery mentors who have retired now. They've retired a long time ago. But they held me and showed me, they modeled for me, this is us maintaining our integrity out because we're outside of the system. So it was modeled for me. So even, for the short time I was in the system as a registered midwife, I already knew I was heading out. And so that spiritual guidance was, everything happens for me. I am held no matter what. And I'm not talking about a particular religion. I'm talking about that connection with, could be my higher self. Loads of people have ideas about what it is. But it's definitely powerful. I don't know if it's male or female. I don't know if it's black or white. I don't know. But it's definitely guidance all through my life. And I heard that voice, guiding me out. Yeah, like, yes, you are called. Yes, you've been through the system. You've learned what they wanted to teach you. You've practiced what they needed you to practice. There was a couple of things where the line was crossed for me, but that really helped, because that then showed me, okay, to survive here, you're going to have to cross lines. And because I couldn't sleep at night once I'd done it, I knew I couldn't go to work and do that every day. So it was all really good. Like, obviously at the times, lots of tears and wailing and gnashing of teeth and renting of clothes and everything on the journey. Very dramatic.
And there's probably still plenty of that as you kind of move through your own business, and you're still coming into contact with the impact and the effects of the system are having on clients and people that contact you. And it's hard, isn't it?
It's really hard. And I'm sure you too, being in this business yourself, whichever area you're at, like my expertise is birth care. And birth preparation. I fully put my hands up. I think that's another thing, learning your limitations and not making it that you're not enough. I just know, I just stay in my lane, that's all, and happily refer to people that are experts in that field. My beautiful, one of my besties is Carmel Gentle. So, we obviously, we have different skill sets, and she is happy to ask me about birth situations, and I happily ask her about postpartum care and feeding and things like that. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I feel like I am guided. My guidance, I just turned 58. So I had plenty of mistakes to learn from, plenty of, life experience to draw on. And that's what helps me stay doing something that I'm absolutely passionate about, whilst at the same time having to flex and pivot. So whenever I'm doing my flexing and my pivoting, it was going from before I qualified as a midwife. Whenever I was doing flexing and pivoting, it was always towards what's authentic.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I've got so much to say. I don't know where to start.
Am I wanted making you think a lot about your own businesses?
You really are, because I really resonate with what you said about midwifery, because when I was a student nurse, paediatric nurse, we had this amazing independent midwife came and did our midwifery. We had a whole term, I think, like quite a lot.
Wow.
In different areas of I've trained in the late 90s. So, and she was amazing, this independent midwife, and she was just so inspiring. And I was like, oh, I think I really would love to go into midwifery. Actually, I'd love to do that. Then I went on placement, and I was like, what she had showed us and taught us just didn't match up with what I was seeing. And we're probably talking 98, so it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this is, even then, as not a mother, I was probably 20. I was just like, this is something not right here. This is just a strange setup. I didn't know how to explain it. I wasn't a mum, I'd never given birth. I didn't know anything about having a baby, but there was something with it, and I was just like, I don't like it. I don't like this obstetric kind of system. I don't feel like the women, all these midwives, apart from a few, have a voice, and it just seems to be this cascade of, even then, interventions where I just thought birth was this like natural thing that everyone went through. You know what I mean? So that for me, I was like, I've never been a midwife. I just, even then at that young age, I just knew that it wasn't for me. But I think it was only because we'd had that independent midwife as our lecturer that I had kind of realised that, so that was kind of my story. So you just really reminded me of that experience that I had. But I guess back then I even knew that already, that I loved the birth and baby stage.
So you probably are called as a midwife, and what happens is when they guide you towards obstetric nursing and you realise you can't live with being that person. Don't get me wrong, one of my besties, again, she's a high dependency unit midwife. Everything is about obstetrics, and she tries to normalise it as best she can.
Yeah.
But
I've had some wonderful
calling.
midwives. Yes, exactly. There's some wonderful midwives in NHS.
Yours.
Yeah. No, it definitely wasn't. But that's just really, it's reminded me that even this isn't like a new thing. I know things have got, but this isn't like almost like a thing now that, maternity is what it is. It's like something that's been that way for a long time, isn't 100%. It? I think it's definitely impacting people a lot more with the resources and things. But bringing it back to sort of your calling, I just really, I really love that. And I love the way that I think we all have those callings, we all have those messages, but it's about how brave are you willing to be? How courageous are you willing to be to follow that? Because there's a lot of unknown, isn't there, when we follow a calling compared to like when you have an NHS job, it's like, you've got a salary, you've got your London waiting, you've got your, you know what I mean? You don't know, you've got your pension, you've got your maternity leave, like all these things, the reasons why we go into a government job, it's so secure. So then to sort of make that decision to go it alone into this kind of big world, it's quite it could be quite a scary thing. But what I hear from you and what I see as well on your, I watch everything you do on Instagram. I absolutely love it. Your message, like your passion, not just your passion, your purpose and your why and your message, it's just so clear. And so you just know what it is. And it's really interesting to me that you use the word pivot and change, because for me, your message is so strong. I wouldn't even necessarily recognize that you pivot and changing, because I'm just like, this is Kemi's message. It's so clear. I can't get enough of it. You know what I mean? It's so needed in the birth world to have somebody that's that sure of, you can see it, is what I'm trying to say. You can see it, but not only, you don't just think it, then you share it with us all as well.
Thank you. And that's the bit, like my message, you'll never, trust me, I've been swapped for a clone. If you ever hear me saying, women, oh, they're not really great at giving birth, but the birth's trying to off you, and just know that I'm chained in a basement somewhere and there's a clone.
We'll come looking for you, Kemi. We'll come and find you.
Come and get me.
We will, definitely.
Get me. But so my message, is very, very direct, and it's science based. It's just, that it's unswerving. It's like a universal law. So you'll never see that changing about me. And I've become more shrill as I've got older, entered my fuck it 50s, which, just keeps on giving.
Yeah.
It just keeps on giving with the clarity. But how I'm showing up it has had to pivot, or the workings behind how I show up has had to pivot, redraw my lines, learn new skills, flex with where the birthers are. So,
interesting. Yeah.
like, for instance, whether I like it or not, there's no point me having my stall laid out if I'm not telling people about it.
Yeah.
Right. Telling people about my offers is acutely uncomfortable. Right. It's, I'm a projector, human design. Like,
Oh, you
there's so.
are. Oh, wow. Yeah. Sorry. I just was like, yes, you are, Kemi. Definitely. You've got a message, and it's got to be, we've got to, everyone listens, and it's amazing.
See, but at the same time, Liz, like, I've really had to learn, and thank God I have a coach. There's a lot of people that coach me and they don't really realize it. Like, I might be on their Patreon, or, subscribe to their podcast, or buy their books, or do their mini courses and things. And then I've got an actual physical coach who brings it all together. Her name's Carmen Rocha.
Amazing.
So she helps me bring everything in line. I think it's essential. I mean, some people have way more than one. I think it's essential. I'm at one at the moment, may become two or three, but I'm always being influenced by people that have gone on ahead and are doing certain things that I may not be so good at. So, the discomfort that led me into following my passion is working for me. But at the same time, you're never really comfortable. I don't know if you two feel the same way. Those of us that are running baby businesses, you will probably find that we're on the sharp end of innovation. We are pioneers, and it's I don't know about you, but I've had to grow comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, it's a major part of it, definitely. And I think, thinking about how powerful your message is, and then having, like you said, like, you have to voice that message to get it out there. But what have you experienced? What challenges have you experienced from being that outspoken? Because I think that's something that a lot of people fear and worry about, is if I really tell people how I feel, and I really tell people the truth, like I open their eyes and they see it my way, what will happen to them? And I just wonder, not to scare anybody, because I'm sure you've had lots of different types of experiences and feedback, shall we say, but has that been a real problem for you, or a sticking point for you at all?
So again, life experience is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So being a Black woman in the UK, this is going to go deep.
Let's go.
I hope you
Let's
don't have
go.
to edit stuff out. But being a Black woman in the UK, watching my mother's struggles, helped me a lot. So I kind of knew how to survive struggle and rejection. And then I fell in love with my children's dad, but then I found out that I was bisexual.
Right.
So being bisexual in the Afro-Caribbean community,
another challenge,
is another challenge. My children being concerned about their school life. If I came to the school gate in like rainbow socks and a rainbow beret, right? Not that I would, but those
that's the
kind of
perception.
concerns.
Yeah.
Being a single parent, another challenge, right?
Yeah.
So all of these, because obviously society initially was happy to suggest that a single parent is the cause of all the ills because our children are out there being feral and dysfunctional. Obviously, thank you, the research proved the opposite, right?
Yeah.
And then being a Black single bisexual parent. So can you see how it all comes together? Like
Yes.
learning how to face challenge and speak up for myself and not feel like the underdog and not feel like I'm wrong, and all of those things really helped me to raise children that absolutely stand in their integrity and their authenticity. So I don't have the issue of, oh yeah, I'm now postmenopausal, but I've got grown up kids having breakdowns. I don't have that. I had to bring it in. I'm around people in their 50s who are about to spring into their strength, and their children are crumbling. And so, and we love them. So of course, any power that I would put into my vocation would have been diverted somewhere else. But because we all raised each other, and because they're just magnificent, and because I often learn from them. So they know how to flex in the TikTok space, etc. So I can learn, it's, I can stay up to date with things. So I can sit in a group of 20-year-olds like I was in Granada 2 weeks ago and have the best time, because I'm usually doing that in my house, if you get what I mean. So, oh gosh, I've even forgot the question. But yeah, so the kind of challenges you can imagine. You can imagine. I will get threats. I will get lots of people telling me who I am. So, you're this, in really nasty physical ways, right?
Wow. Yeah.
But what helps, because I'm in my fuck it 50s postmenopausal Marga, I know who I fucking am.
Yeah.
So somebody coming in and spending 10 minutes railing at me in my DMs, I don't need to pick through it and decide that I'm not enough. I know I'm enough.
Yeah.
So I can just delete and block straight away. I don't need to do the whole banter.
That has to
It's
be
like your message is more important than whether somebody likes you. Or is interested in, or agrees with you. Yeah, your message is more important than that. Because if we didn't have people sharing the message like you, all the people that, and it's not just the people that you help one-to-one, like as a doula and as an advocate and all of that kind of stuff. It is the ripple effect of them, of just the people who watch your stuff, of the people that you support, because I know you support a lot of birth workers as well, all the time. So the ripple effect of you not caring, because I'm sure it is hard a lot. I can only imagine how hard it is sometimes, but just saying, even if it is that this is hard, but it doesn't matter because this is what I'm here for. The impact of that is just huge. It's absolutely massive.
And the way you put it, Anna, it feels like you've had a similar journey.
I wouldn't say so. I
Really?
If anything, I'm just sitting here thinking, why do I hold back so much?
Really? Really?
I'm sitting here thinking, thank goodness for Kemi, because you say what so many of us want to say, but don't have the words or the confidence or or the platform for some people. You speak for so many, and it's not for everybody to be that vocal, but we can all be activists in our own way. But I think so many of us look at you and go, thank God Kemi's doing this work, like, thank God. So
I think it's unique. It's a unique role. And my life experience led me here. It's like a convergence of everything. So in the time when I was saying, why do I live in a dangerous place? There was a time I was with living in a flat or a maisonette, and we'd look down into the car park and there was drug dealers down there. Like, my children are very small, so they wouldn't be coming home at night or whatever. We were all in our house. Once I picked them up from the childminders, etc. But we looked out I looked out and I could see drug dealers down there with guns, you know. So that's why I you know, and before I thought, oh, woe is me, but there's a part of me that also says, right, now what are we going to do, where are we going to go, you know, how are we going to move, how are we going to make this happen? And so all of that, every single thing has come towards me being able to just block and delete without making it mean anything. Because I now realize that we're all on this planet having an experience, but we might be in different paradigms.
Yeah.
And sometimes people want to come in and kind of mess with mine. And I kind of think, no,
Yeah.
no, you're not.
Yeah. See you later. But I definitely think there's that small sentence, you know, block, delete, move on, or whatever it is, that sort of phrase is so important and powerful, because why should somebody disrupt what you're doing and how you're changing the world? Like, you are a change maker, and you know, you just you've just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. I don't know how you feel about this question, but we talk sometimes with the people that we have on this podcast about money and how they feel about money. And so birth and baby business owners are kind of notorious for having money mindset issues and worrying about charging people and things like that. And I'm just wondering, how do you feel about that? Like, how do you balance the need and to make money, because we all need to, like, you have bills to pay like everybody else. So how do you balance the need to make money with the passion and the desire and the strength of your message, and that wanting that to reach as many people? Like, is there like a power struggle, or are you very like, no, I know my worth, I know my value, I charge, etc.? Talk us through that.
Yeah. Right. So we know, you know, we all share that this information that we have and these skills that we have, society will benefit from, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have been through this process of, you know, if I make everything 10p, you know, or a pound, then everyone can access it, right? Which, at the end of the day, if you've got a product online that sells itself, delivers itself to the customer, you've got that little automation going, you know, you can think about how much I'm going to make it worth. You can there's a bit more flexibility in it. When we're providing individualized one-to-one services, man, what it does to the brain, right? So we absolutely know we might save lives, marriages, perineums, feeding relationships, which leads to long-term future health for your baby and descendants. We absolutely know what it's worth, but our society mostly doesn't. And especially if we are UK based, offering one-to-one individualized face-to-face, families have been fooled into thinking that the things that we may offer, like top drawer high quality, they've been fooled into thinking that they can just go and get it for free, not realizing that what they're getting for free obviously isn't free, because the country's paying through the crack for all of these things that are total time wasting, money wasting, iatrogenically harmful things. They don't realize that until afterwards.
So
right? So they may have the first feeding relationship disrupted. And then that first baby then goes on, and if they haven't got an opportunity to pivot, or they don't have parents that speak to them or admit where they went wrong, etc., they then go and repeat the cycle. So the majority of people in the UK at the moment do not appreciate our skill, which serves women primarily, although it then helps the whole family. They don't appreciate. And then on top of that, we've got that women and aren't appreciated. So we've, you know, both sides of that, the women that serve women and their families, and the women being served by us, underappreciated, not, you know, and so you're right, we've got this wound, we've got this money wound. And you know, I've had to do a lot of work on it. Like, money is energy. No, it's not dirty, it's not filthy. The majority of the country, well, I'd say the country because I'm UK based, and I think we've got a unique problem here. If you go to other countries, they're used to investing some money into their birth and infant nurture care. They're used to that. And so they just choose, am I going to put it into Kemi or Anna or Liz or not? Whilst here in this country, they don't want to pay. So
what do we do about that problem? Is, you know, I guess it just keeps coming back around for you in particular, Kemi, is you just keep sharing your message.
That's
and eventually it drops for people, who can hear it. And
Thank
they
you,
become
Liz.
your clients.
I'm investing in the future. That's why I say a lot, I'll say, speak with me or people like me. Because generally, you know, as we know, 95% of babies are born in the labour ward or in their theatre. So it's soul destroying. And, you know, people that are in my, you know, talking spaces and my friends, etc., they get every month. It's like I cycle, even though I'm not cycling. Is that every month I'll get, oh, what's the bloody point? What is the point? So what I'm now working on, which I won't go too deep into at the moment because I'm just working on and trying things on, is making money complete. So my passive income I'm now working on.
Great.
And making money outside of the space that you see me very vocal in. So my passive income at the moment, I'm doing it in my passion. It's lovely now because I get paid as a speaker. So that's a nice little, you know, injection that comes in. You get to do something nice for the grandchildren or whatever. I'm creating legacy for my children and my grandchildren at the moment. So we're looking at how to expand that, looking at trusts, looking at land, that kind of thing. One of the strategies, so because I knew, obviously it was clear that I was going to be on the front edge and quite vocal, I've made sure that I've got nothing in my name. Just being real, because if you've got nothing in your name, and then if you come off of the register, which took me a good couple of years to come off the register, people had some leverage with me. I mean, it was emotional leverage. I wouldn't change my what I was saying, but I might lose a few nights sleep or whatever. They'd say, you know, what you're doing is bringing midwifery into disrepute. We're going to report you to the Nursing and Midwifery Council. Right, then that would have impacted, you know, me being a registered midwife, being booked as a registered midwife, blah blah blah. So in the end, it took me 2 years. I had to bite the bullet and say to my clients, I'm about to come off this register. Does that affect you? It's like they all said, no, I'll give birth at the bottom of the garden rather than have anybody else. I'll go and give birth in Piccadilly Circus. Every single one of them said, I don't care, I'm having you. I'll give birth on a barge, whatever. Right? So that was good, but it was frightening.
I bet.
Opening my mouth. So sorry, just to bring that round, it's knowing your calling. It's boxing clever a little bit, like not having things in your name, etc., and being real. It's getting your outgoings down to a minimum. So really pulling down your outgoings. seeing if there's anything that you like to do that may be outside of your front facing loud stuff that you feel comfortable doing, that will give you that cushion, financial cushion for any eventualities, because you just don't know what's around the corner.
Yeah, good advice. So it's yeah, it is creating that kind of sustainability in your
That's
income,
right.
because
Yeah.
it can be quite volatile running your own business, and especially being an activist, as you are.
Yeah.
Definitely. Wow. Thank you
Yeah,
for
I love that. It's such an important message, because I think so many people are scared to spend money, invest in themselves and their business. Like, let's give coaching as an example. But what I'm hearing you say is, actually, for me, there's other parts of my business, or perhaps even my life, I don't know, that I can really reduce down so that I have got the money for the important bits. I can create stability, but then I've got money for the important bits, like having a coach, or perhaps investing in your programs and things that are going to be your passive income. Excuse me. And it's about being smart. It's not about saying, oh, spend money to make money in my business or whatever. It's like, it just sounds to me like, over the years, you've just built that wisdom into, let's diversify this. Let's have like multi different ways to bring in income that still stick with your, still aligns with who you are in your, and your message. But yeah, I really like that. But it also sounds like a lot. Like, sounds like a lot of work.
There's a
You're
lot
working
going on.
hard, Kemi.
Yeah.
And also, I know that you're seeing your family and your grandkids as well. So you've got a very full and busy life, haven't you? So how do you balance all that? Like, where do you look after you?
Really good question. Sleep is my jam. And I never used to. I never used to sleep, and it was having a huge impact on my health. So I fell in love with sleep again about 5 years ago. So I'm very protective. I know my limits. I won't answer a message after 9 p.m. I won't accept a phone call. Like, this is the earliest that I will speak to people. Like, I'm normally it was 10 a.m. guys. I know you watch it. It was 10 a.m. So
Sorry.
I do know. I'm so glad I'm here. I do get up early. I tend to wake up around 5:30 or 6 o'clock, but it still takes me till midday to do everything that I need to do with my supplements, with my vision boarding, with my prayer, with my affirmations, with like all of that needs to happen before I start opening my mouth at midday. So
wow, Kemi.
And I protect it. I'm very protective. So, like, my friends all know, like, she's not going to answer. So I'll just look at the phone. Like, the only time I will answer is if I know, like, a friend's going through hell, then I will answer. Or if it's my children or grandchildren, they will get answered.
There's some exceptions,
There are exceptions, but being very protective, knowing that I can only give good things if I'm rested and if I'm topped up in all ways, not just make sure that I have a breakfast that I like, make sure I'm wearing clothes that I love, make sure that my area is tidy, and not all of that is so important to have nice things on the wall, have nice colors around you, get rid of things that are sucking your energy, all of these things. You just really, like, we are products, aren't we? And obviously we're people, but we're products. So we've really got to make sure that we're all yummy and ready. And I love clothes, and I love my natural hair, and I love a party and everything,
So it's finding that balance, isn't it? And really kind of loving yourself. It sounds like you love yourself, and I love that. You really take care of yourself. And as birth and baby business owners, we often we are guilty of forgetting ourselves. And I guess
Yeah.
because you've been on such a journey,
Yeah.
you know that you can't do that. You can't keep doing
It's
this
not.
work and
Well,
not love
you
yourself.
mentioned the word, Liz. You mentioned, sorry, it just jumped out of me because you mentioned near the beginning, sustainable.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You've got to be able to sustain everything, isn't it? Your energy, your passion, and you can only do that when you really take care of yourself. So that's a really powerful message for somebody to take away. But our final question for you is maybe along the same lines, but what's the one piece of advice you would give to a birth or baby business owner who wanted to create an impactful, and that word again, sustainable business? So is there anything else that you would recommend that they do?
You've got to declutter your life. You've got to learn the power of the no. How wonderful the word no, or no thank you is. Because sometimes you might have fear about finances.
Yeah.
And so you go off down an uncomfortable direction where your body's screaming, it's a dead end. You're not supposed to be down that way. It's just like really being good and firm with your no.
Yeah.
You are on a calling, all of us in this arena. We're talking about the portal of humans coming onto the planet in a way that enables them to be strong and stay the course.
Yeah.
Our bodies are not also rans. Our bodies are this essential interface for our spirit here on the planet.
Yeah.
And so we cannot be everything to everyone in all places.
Yeah.
We have to learn to choose and say, no, that's none of my business. I'm going to stay in my lane. That's none of my business. I'm not going to try to be her or try to be him. When it's only, there's this shaped, there's this, like, I'll say it, there's an Anna shaped hole, there's a Liz shaped hole, and you have to show up as you to fill that hole. So to do that, you can't be each other. Neither of you can be me. I can't be you. We must really declutter our lives in every single way and zero in. Focus.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I'm getting tingles.
Oh, Kemi, that is so.
I don't want this conversation to end.
I know, but
it has to, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But Kemi, that is just I could listen to you all day, honestly. I really could. You've got so much wisdom to share with us all. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been absolutely brilliant. We're definitely going to have you back.
If you
I just
come
feel
back,
there's a lot more we could say. But just really briefly, would you just share with people, we'll put it in the show notes as well, but share with people where they can find you and all your wonderful offerings.
Yes, I mean, my offerings are shifting again in a good way.
Yeah.
I've just been putting things out, seeing what works, what doesn't, and I'm really happy. I'm very good at letting go of things now, finally. But to keep an eye on me, it's a love-hate relationship I have with Instagram, but there it is. That's where I tend to hang out the most. You can find me in my DMs. I've now put back up my link tree, which I love, so you can kind of just see a sample of what's going on in my head on my link tree as well. I've got my website, KemiBirthjoyJohnson.com. It's not fully reflecting who I am at the moment, but that's work in progress as well, because we keep finding new things about ourselves, don't we, if we're willing to look. So, but yeah, you'll find me on Instagram at the moment. Love-hate relationship, as I said. TikTok and don't know. But I'm Kemi Birthjoy Johnson. So if you put that in the search on Google at the moment, you'll find me.
Thanks,
Great,
Kemi.
brilliant. Thank you, Kemi. And to everyone who's been watching or listening, we hope you've enjoyed this conversation. It's been very powerful for myself and Anna, I can tell already, so I'm sure it's been powerful for you. If you've been watching on YouTube, please drop a comment and subscribe. If you've been listening on your favorite podcast provider, please think about leaving a review and also give us a follow. But we would love you to come over to Instagram and let us know what you thought of this episode. Thanks for watching or listening, guys. Bye.
Bye.